with Janice on the St. Anselm women's hockey team. Janice, what do you think is the reason why people are more likely to go to men's hockey games on campus rather than women's hockey games?
I think that people would rather go to men's hockey games rather than women's because they believe that the men's hockey games are more exciting and that women's hockey is not as fast-paced, so it's not as entertaining to watch.
CJ on the men's hockey team. CJ, why do you think it's more likely for fans to go to the men's hockey game rather than the women's hockey games?
I think it's because there's more contact, it's a faster paced game, so it makes it more entertaining for the fans.
With Taylor Trask on the women's softball team. Taylor, what do you think is the reason why people go to men's baseball games rather than the women's softball games?
I think the men's baseball field is located in the kind of central part of campus, so a lot of fans kind of just migrate there, and our field's kind of located in the back of campus, and not many people know about it, and yeah, I just think location plays a big part.
On the men's baseball team. Dave, why do you think it's more likely for people to go to the men's baseball game rather than the women's softball games?
Well, first off, I feel like it's more of like a location aspect where we're like in the center of campus, so people can like come from all angles to like see our games. Where softball you have to drive all the way out there. And then I don't know. I mean, I feel like at our games you see kids hit balls like 400 feet, like really far. Like kids throwing like over 90. Like I guess maybe it's more of like a shock to see. I guess like kids like play against us that throw really hard and stuff like that.
Here with Chris Santos and Mike McCahey. So what do you guys think is the reason why fans are most likely to go to more of the men's basketball games rather than the women's basketball games?
In all seriousness, I think it's very unfair that people only go to our games and not their games. I think that they deserve just as much credit, if not more, than us. I think that some of the reasons why people come to our games and not theirs is because it's a little bit more physical, and people find that entertaining.
I'm going to have to agree with my friend Chris here. I mean, I think it's totally wrong. My friend Lex over here, I've been trying to get fans there. I mean, it's a free country. They should have as many fans as us. But yeah, I mean, I guess they publicize our games more. Maybe not as many people know about their games.
You know, the suffrage movement happened in the 1920s, and we're way past that, at least I would think. All right, Greg, have you not?
I would have to say, just like the guys did, they don't promote our games as much as they do the men. And women's basketball, women's sports period, can sometimes, I would agree, get boring. And men's games have that excitement that women's games don't have.
Here with Eric Copeland. Eric, what are your thoughts on why people are more likely to go to men's sporting events rather than women's sporting events?
I think, multiple reasons that go into that. I think probably the main thing is, media coverage obviously is greater for men's sports. And I think that, I think that comes from a lot of things. I think that for whatever reason, society has, placed a greater emphasis on the men. I think, a perfect example is if you look at the NBA and the WNBA, obviously the NBA doing much better, financially, fan-wise. I mean, obviously the average salary, Lisa Leslie isn't making what LeBron James makes. So, yeah, I think that's driven by the media. I think, they put out what sells, and obviously that sells. I think, men obviously, stereotypically, generally speaking, are, bigger, faster, stronger, more physical. I think, that's probably why a lot of males would rather watch male sports. I think, if you look at hockey on most campuses, college campuses, I think the men probably draw greater than the women, no matter how good they are. When I was at the University of New Hampshire, our women were ranked first in the country for almost 3 straight years. Maybe drew 800 a game, where the men were selling out 6,500 every night. Men were also good, but they weren't ranked number 1 in the country. And I think, just that quicker, faster game, I think, has just, drawn people to that. And, it's probably unfortunate because I think a lot of, women's teams and women's athletes are, just as good, if not better, than men's sports. But I just think, it's something that's been driven by the media.
Here with Mackenzie Frazier. What do you think is the reason why people go to more of men's athletic events rather than women's?
Sure. I believe that attendance is higher at men's sports versus women's sports because that is the way that society deems it to be. I think that people who don't necessarily understand sport or understand the concepts behind it think that men's sports are more physical, more exciting, rather than understanding the finesse and the skill that it takes to play women's sports. So I think that they go for the power rather than the actual skill that's involved, whereas like, not taking anything away from men's sports, it still takes a lot of skill and talent to play those. However, women have to find other ways to play rather than just to be physical and to push each other around. It boils down to basically that that's the way society deems it, is that men's sports are more exciting and that's why we should go to them rather than, you know, getting to the real reason behind it.
You're with non-athlete Michael Jones. Mike, are you more likely to go to a men's sporting event or a women's sporting event?
Men's.
And why is that?
I think just because of the culture we have here in America. We've all grown up watching men's sports on TV, and you know, there really isn't a huge women's sports presence. I think football and baseball are the two most popular sports in this country, so, and women don't necessarily play those unless it's lingerie football. So I think that's one of the main reasons why I appreciate men's sport more than women's sports.
Here with non-athlete Hannah McGowan. Hannah, I'm curious to know, would you rather go to a men's hockey game rather than a women's hockey game?
Definitely a men's hockey game. I think they're faster paced, more action-packed, and definitely grew up watching men's hockey. I did play men's hockey when I was growing up. I was the only girl out there. My dad kind of made me play because he wanted me to be tougher out there. And so I kind of grew up watching guys hockey rather than women's hockey, and I feel like it's more in the media as guys hockey. You don't really see too much information about women's hockey out there, so definitely men's hockey.